Welcome to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, the daily talk show with the voice of Penn State football and men's basketball. You never know what special guest may stop on by any given day. Now here's the man of the hour, Mr. Steve Jones.
Well, a tough one for the city of Philadelphia yesterday. I mean, the Phillies, Eagles, and Flyers all lost. So tough day. We'll start with the Phillies. I mean, that was just a game, Phil, where every pitch had drama to it.
Yeah.
I think Sanchez was terrific. Luzardo was terrific. Duran got out of trouble.
Yeah. Flip side, that Glasnow was sensational.
Well, that game. You know what's interesting about that?
Yeah.
Okay, think about this. Think about this. Tyler Glasnow. Okay, Tommy Edman, Harrison Bader, all former Spikes playing in this game.
Yep.
And then Alec Boehm, who played for Williamsport, played how many games at Medler Field, Lebrano Park? You've seen all these players play in person.
Oh, yeah.
Here. That's what I found interesting about it. And they all played well. But the Phillies offense, except for one game, was held in check by the Dodgers pitching staff. They just could not generate the offense.
You're right.
2-1 game, your pitching's good enough to win the game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 1-1 game for as long as it was, a scoreless game for as long as it was.
I mean, so now you're in, what was it, the 11th inning or whatever it was last night?
Yeah.
All right. Orion Kirkering, okay, so he gets in trouble. Yeah. And if the grounder goes straight back to him and he feels it, he will go to first with it.
Yes.
Right. But when he knocked it down and it rolled in front, he panicked. The bottom line is he still had the easiest play for him, believe it or not, was at first base.
Yeah, it was he had him by quite a bit.
I mean, in other words, if he threw to first, he would have had Pius out by probably 3 or 4 steps, which is a significant number in baseball. The odd thing is on the throw to the plate, say he throws it accurate to the plate, guess what? He beat it. Now, you look at where the ball is and where the foot is. He's already on the plate by the time the ball gets to Real Muto.
Yeah.
Now, of course, he missed him, but I'm saying if he threw it accurately, he still would have been safe. It is easy to always evaluate the end of something, the end of a game.
Especially when it's a mistake. Absolutely.
Right, the end of a game. But there's a long path of 3.5 hours where opportunities were missed, where you couldn't generate enough offense. I mean, it's just, you walk in the tying run. You walked in the tying run. Durant walked in the tying run.
I understand the intimidation, the presence of Ohtani, but I didn't understand the move to walk him there. I really, in that spot, I get it. First base is open. He gets a hit, and I'm completely wrong. I understand that.
No,
but
I'd have pitched to him. He's 1 for 17.
And that's exactly why. He was 1 for 18 with 9 strikeouts.
Yes, I mean
there's no he is.
You can tell that he's off balance.
Yeah, completely, and he's off balance with a lefty, especially. Duran's a righty. I get it, but
in the postseason, I said this before this year. Because Judge had a really good offensive postseason.
Sure did.
In the past, I remember saying last year, pitch to him. He's not going to get it done.
No.
Right?
Yeah, and that's
same thing with Giancarlo Stanton. Pitch to him.
Absolutely.
Right? Now, Stanton had a great postseason last year.
Yeah.
But again, most of the time in the postseason, he has not produced. You go after people, right?
Yeah, I didn't understand that. And not only the fact that I get if Shohei Ohtani is up and the bottom of the order is up behind him.
If Ohtani is 4 for 16 in the series.
Then I think
I think I walk him.
Yeah.
Right?
But what is behind him as an MVP and a guy that has been clutch in the postseason and Mookie Betts?
Right.
Like I would not have walked him to get to Mookie Betts either. I think that's a spot where, yeah, and I agree with you on the first part. That's exactly my thought. This guy was 1 for 18. He struck out 9 times.
And did not look good.
No, he was way off balance. He was taking pitches he normally doesn't take, too, on third strikes. And that's where there's no question. I would not have walked him there in that spot. That put more pressure on Duran. That put more pressure on the Phillies. Then they walk in the run, yeah.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers, the other part of it, the Dodgers and runners in scoring position were 5 for 28 at that point.
Right.
That was one decision where I questioned it in a big way. And I'll tell you, that's the one thing I would say about this series that's going to be overshadowed, unfortunately, by Kirkland's mistake. And again, anybody blaming him for this loss,
it's always easy to look
forget
at the
about
end.
it.
How did you get to the end?
How did you exactly?
It actually takes not a lot of thought.
Right.
But in this business, there isn't a lot of thought. Everybody concentrates on the end.
And the managerial,
because it's just the low hanging fruit. Okay, that doesn't.
Absolutely.
Okay? You got to look at the whole body of work. Look, at home they had opportunities. They couldn't generate offense at home.
And the pitching was outstanding.
Freddie Freeman said to Tommy Edman. He said to Tommy Edman, "Can you believe we got out of here with 2 wins?"
Yeah. Yeah, and
I mean, even they
that
weren't.
pitching was outstanding for the Phillies.
Even they thought they were like, "Who?
Yeah.
Man, we got lucky here."
You couldn't ask for the Phillies pitching to be better.
No.
Do they miss Zach Wheeler? Of course they do. You miss your ace, but the other ace on this team right now is Chris Sanchez, who has pitched 2 great games in this series and deserved to win. So there's no doubt. Yeah. But what is going to be overshadowed in this series is the managerial decisions from both teams. Because I thought Dave Roberts made some questionable moves.
Yeah, he did.
And I thought obviously Rob Thompson made a lot of questionable moves. There's no doubt about that.
The Eagles. So then I flip over to Prime. And the Giants are winning.
Yep.
I think when I flipped over it was 20-17, I think.
Yeah, that's when I turned it off.
So you're looking at it from the expectation point of view. You're like, well, the Eagles will come out and they'll start to take control of the game. And no. In fact, the Eagles did not score a point in the second half.
No, they led 17-13 and got outscored. 21-0.
Yeah. So let's start with Jackson Dart. When we were doing this show back in January, and who were the top 2 quarterbacks considered in the draft?
Yeah, Dart and Shedeur.
No.
Well, Shedeur Sanders.
And Cam Ward.
Yep.
Right? That's all. Bum. What did I say? Who's the number 2 quarterback in the draft?
Dart, no doubt.
I said Dart.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I said it over and over again. I said, not Shedeur Sanders.
Right.
I said, it's Dart. Not Dylan Gabriel. It's Dart.
Right.
Okay? Not Tyler Shuck. Dart. I said, we kept hearing over and over and over again about Shedeur Sanders. Now, he may get in there and do well when he gets his opportunity. Not discounting that at all.
Right.
There was no doubt in my mind. And I even said, I not only think he's the number 2 pick in the draft among quarterbacks. I said he might be the best quarterback in the draft. Okay. Why? The only area where I looked at is, remember, going into the Peach Bowl, you take your time and you watch a fair amount of video.
Sure.
Usually I watch 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
Then you watch the guy in person. And the only area that I thought he was deficient in, the only area, was when, and every quarterback faces this, when he got pressure in his face, he panics.
Yeah. Pat Mahomes does the same thing.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Tom Brady did that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay. I said, Jack Ham and I were talking. We both thought the Steelers should draft him.
I thought the same.
Right.
Yeah. Steelers or Saints, who I had him going to.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I said, because he can play. He can move. He's accurate. I mean, he threw a pass to Theo Johnson yesterday on 3rd down, and Theo dropped it. Right? That ball can't be thrown any better.
Right.
Hyatt, he threw a ball on an out to Hyatt. Hyatt dropped it as well. And again, the ball was right there. He can run. He's accurate when he throws it. He has the old-fashioned word moxie.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some swagger to him out there. Then you add in Cam Scatterbo, and when the Giants drafted him, I said on this show, I said that's one of the steals of the draft there. Look, he's not a first-round pick. Of course he's not a first-round pick. But when they drafted him, I said, they got somebody there.
Yeah.
This is to go with Abdul Carter. All right? And Carter's their first pick, third overall. And like, okay. Well, last night, Scatterbo ran for 98 yards. The Eagles' defense could not stop the Giants' running game last night. That includes Dart, and Dart's ability to run the ball keeps the team off balance.
Yeah.
Defensively, the Giants, the one thing they do have is they've got between Burns, Thibodeau, and Carter, and then you add in Dexter Lawrence, they have people who can pressure the quarterback.
Absolutely.
The problem the Giants have is their secondary is really, okay, and yet the secondary played great last night.
Yeah, gave up a few big plays, and then it made the necessary adjustments. Absolutely.
Right? Lane Johnson says the Eagles are too predictable. Right? Could be. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, Saquon Barkley could not get going last night again.
He's not gotten going all year. He really has.
The reason he's not getting going is not because of Saquon Barkley.
No.
The reason he's not getting going is the Eagles' offensive line has not played well.
No, and it's surprising, I think, in a big way. The only missing piece on that line is Becton. That was gone. And you have injuries. Dickerson was hurt.
Right, Dickerson's been hurt.
But still, it baffles me right now to how they're playing. I think I think you have to, at this point, probably sound the alarm a little bit on play calling. I think when you're looking at this offense with the talent it has, you blame the players, of course. They're on the field. They're the result in a lot of ways, but the other part of it is, are they being put in position to win games? And I'm not sure that answer is yes.
Yeah. I mean, they are. What's interesting about the Eagles is this, is that I go back to the offsides calls on the push. See, this is what the Giants did a great job of last night. The Eagles were never in third down and
right.
2, 3.
Yep.
They couldn't run it. They couldn't run the push. The Eagles' second half didn't run the push one time because they were never in a position to do it. I've always said you've got to be really good on first and second down against them, which then takes the play away. Right? They never ran it one time in the second half. Now, okay? But you think about the offsides on the pushes, which weren't called in the Kansas City game, and what was the other one? The other one was
Rams.
The Rams game. If those are called correctly, they may lose those two games too.
Yeah, they were down 26-7 in that Rams game.
I mean, they may lose both those games. So instead of being 4-2, they might be 2-4 right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason I bring that up, they won the game. The only reason I bring that up is that shows you how far off balance they are right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they really are.
Because they, and now let's go back to last year. They were 2-2 last year through the opening month. Now we're through game 6 now.
Yeah, they had the early bye last year, which I think helped them because I thought they got together on that bye week and really became unleashed after that. I thought they were a much different team, and Jalen Hurts became more of a leader. I think he understood what he had in Barkley, and I think that team was much better. And Kellen Moore, Kellen Moore, I think, played to their strengths too, which is a big loss. I think they're missing Kellen Moore right now. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, but they've got Vic Fangio, and guess what?
Fangio is incredible.
Right, but they gave up 34 points to the Giants last night.
Yeah. Yeah,
they gave up 34 points to the Giants. I mean, he may be a great defensive coordinator, but guess what? Where's Jalen Carter last night?
He was injured.
I mean,
he was out for the game.
Out. It hurt him.
It hurt him big time. Hurt him in the Dallas game.
And Jordan Davis did nothing.
I had a sack. That was it. Yeah.
Jordan Davis did nothing last night. Okay, that's it. I mean, where was he in the run game? I thought that was supposed to be the big thing. He's great in the run game. So They lose the game. We're not going to comment on the Flyers. Nobody follows them anyway. All right. So
you're one game into a season. It's going to be a long season, too.
Yeah. It's going to be a long year. But there you go.
We'll comment on the Flyers when the Michigan State comes to Beaver Stadium and Martone is playing there. First-round pick for the
Michigan State.
Yeah.
Yeah. Penn State hockey lost last night, 6-4.
At the 4-2 lead in that game.
And Webush had 4 goals.
4 goals. Yep, all 4. Yep.
I am going to go tonight.
Almost went last night. The Phillies weren't playing that game.
Well, I
had truly thought about going. Yeah,
I had the talk show last night,
Yep.
the coaches show with Kayla Trainer and with James Franklin. Then I had to record the pregame show with James. So I couldn't even get out of there till 7:30. So I already knew ahead of time it was going to be worthless for me to go over. So, but I'm going to go tonight. Watch them play.
Yeah.
Look, it's a long year.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, and they'll develop as time goes on. Look, you have all the talent in the world. It still takes time to mesh together. I don't care how much talent you have. It takes time.
Yeah, but it's also, in that sport, you'll lose a game here and there.
Oh, there's no doubt.
It happens.
Absolutely.
It happens.
Yeah.
Okay? When's the last undefeated team we had in college hockey? How about?
Never had one that I remember.
Yeah. Just like in college basketball, 76 Indiana.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. They're the last ones. Yeah. UCLA seemed to do it with regularity.
Yeah.
But
Has there only been 2 undefeated teams since then that have gone into the tournament undefeated? You had UNLV and you had Kentucky.
That's it.
That was it.
They're the only 2. Yeah.
That UNLV team I did not think would lose. I would be the first to admit that. That's one of Coach K's. His championships are big. I think that, to me, is one of his biggest victories of all time. That was a game that I did not think Duke had a chance.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it was, it's just hard to do.
It's incredibly hard to do.
Right? Last year's national champion in college football lost twice.
Yeah.
It's hard to do. Yeah. I realize
absolutely.
there's a segment of the population, not a big segment, that thinks you should never, ever lose. Okay? While that's nice and it's idealistically wonderful,
it's incredible.
In today's game,
it's hard to do.
It's not realistic anymore. And how could you possibly lose? I remember one time, and you get you get some bad calls along the way,
Sure.
right? And I remember one time. This is just a couple of years ago. Remember Penn State played Georgia Tech at Madison Square Garden? Game goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And in the end, there's a play at the baseline. And the ball goes out of bounds. And the Georgia Tech player trips over his own 2 feet. Ace Baldwin is about 2 feet away from him because we looked at the replay, like 2 feet away. They called a foul on Ace. We're like, no, there's 1 second left. There's a second left in the game. Right? You can't make that call.
No.
Okay?
Absolutely not.
In other words, he's 2 feet away from him. It was such an egregious call. We just sat back and went, what are you looking at? In other words, Johnny Miller was famous in broadcasting, and he always said, look, he says, it's not a good word. He says, but, how often did you hear Johnny Miller in golf use the word choke? Okay, it's not a word I usually use, whatever. But on that play, the official choked. I mean, sorry, he choked. All right. So later I get back, and it was a holiday party that night. And so I drove back from New York. This is after somehow working my way out of the city.
Easier said than done.
Right. I got out. Right. And because my car was parked in Jersey, so I finally got an Uber and got out. I was going to take the train, and I went down and I'm like, I'm not doing this. Okay. I got back, right, and somebody said to me, well, that's their fault they lost. I'm like, what? I said they had the game won. I said, and they had it taken away from them. I said, the guy knocked the ball out of bounds himself, tripped over his own 2 feet. I said, Ace is 2 feet away from him. They called a foul on Ace. He said he wasn't even close enough to touch him. Like, see what I mean about the attitude?
Yeah.
Like, well, what's the attitude here? Okay. I just don't. I don't know. Everybody, I completely understand, like, whenever somebody loses, it is, like, it hurts. You know, as James
Especially
talked about,
heartbreaking fashion.
as James talked about last night, he said, hey, look, he says, when you have a passionate fan base, you get 111,015 people into a stadium, and they go absolutely insane and great, and they influence recruiting, they influence the game, they influence so many things, right? They influence so many things. But at the same time, when things don't go well, you've got a segment of that passionate fan base that is passionate in a different way.
Yeah.
I got it. I got it. You're a paying customer. I understand.
Sure.
I mean, I understand. Nobody wants them to win more than you do. Right? But, of course, nobody wants them to win more than the players and the coaches do.
Absolutely.
Right? So when things don't go right, there's angst, there's anger, and there's the invisible world, which I'll get to in a second. Quarterback Club on Wednesday, they're a great group. Right? And people asked questions. But there's a big difference between asking a question and accusing somebody of something in a question. The big difference. If you're just asking questions, you ask questions. Everybody there asked questions. It's okay. They asked respectfully about the end of the first half.
Sure.
About, the timeout usage in that part of it. Right? And it was just a question. They said there's been some talk about the end of the first half. What would you say to people when they ask about how the timeouts were handled at the end of the half? Right? What's wrong with that question?
Yeah.
It's okay. It gives the coach the opportunity to explain that you were trying to run the clock as low as you possibly could, and that if you got a first down, you would then start using your timeouts. But the goal was to try and get points, touchdown, field goal, right? Okay? And leave as little time as possible for the UCLA offense with the idea that you're going to get the ball to start the second half. But it allowed James to explain that because the question was a question. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. Nothing wrong with asking questions. And somebody asked me, how did I think last night was going to go beforehand? And I said, I don't think it's going to be a big issue. Right? And it was not. You want to know why? Because it's amazing when you are face-to-face with somebody, you're not quite as bold.
Oh, no doubt.
Okay?
Yeah, I agree.
And I said that going in. I said, I don't have any concerns about it. I said, when people are face-to-face, they're not quite as bold. I said, it's okay. And again, Jason, it is okay to ask questions.
Sure.
There is nothing wrong with asking questions. Just don't be rude about it. Just ask questions.
Yeah,
if you have questions and you want an answer to it, right? Fine. It's okay to ask questions. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay?
Yeah, and you always have to watch your word. There's no doubt about that with the questions, and that's where.
Well, no, I mean, you don't have to sit there and be ultra careful with it.
No, not ultra careful.
You're not a professional.
Presentable enough.
Okay, look, I'm a professional.
Right, absolutely.
Right? So I ask, how many questions do I ask during the course of the week?
Quite
Quarterback club, I got to ask them questions. Pregame show, I got to ask them questions.
Sure.
Okay, talk show, I'm talking to Kayla the first half hour, all questions. Right. So, so I do it for a living. I know pretty much how to do it.
Yes.
Right. A person that is a fan who doesn't do this for a living.
Right.
Right. May get a little sloppy as to how they do it. Right. Once in a while, and you give them
leeway.
You give them the benefit of the doubt because look, that's not what you do for a living.
Yeah.
Right. If I asked the question the same way, James would have to look at me and go, the heck's wrong with you today? Oh my God! It's like
I think the better wording would be respectful. I think
just ask questions.
Ask the question.
It is okay to ask questions. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's never anything wrong, and there's nothing wrong with being critical. That's okay too.
Right. And if the question's a critical question, okay, right. What about this? Or what were you thinking in this spot?
Sure.
Okay, now you open it up for them. They get to explain what they were thinking. Okay, right. Like Orion Kirkering last night. It's okay to ask questions. He says, like, what happened on that play? What were you thinking on that play? Right? Hey, it's okay to ask. And then you get an answer.
Sure.
But as I said, people are, okay, now we get to the hidden part. Okay? I said to Jack yesterday, Jack Ham, kept doing this yesterday. I said, what's wrong? He says, is Jason here? I said, we don't do the pregame show out in front of an audience any longer. That doesn't mean they haven't wanted to. There's been reasons. Okay, I mean, this is something like we're not in charge of this at all. Okay, it's not like we sat there and we said we want to do the show in the booth. No, they never. Right? They didn't ask. Right? Because they tried to get it last year in the north end zone in the between the decks. They wanted to do it there, but I guess they were doing some table construction there. Table, chairs, and so we couldn't do it there, so we had to do it in the booth. This year they wanted to put us on the field, but it's like things haven't worked out. So if you're wondering why we're not out there in public taking questions any longer on the stage or whatever, I'm just outlining to you what the powers that be. I'm talking about Playfly, not Penn State.
Sure.
Playfly. If you're wondering why we're up in the booth the last 2 years doing it, those are the reasons why, right? Because I'm always like, okay, well, whatever you want, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. What do I care, right? I could care less. And I said to Jack, I said, imagine if we're doing the show out in, like we did for many years in front of people. I said they're going to be bolder with you and I than they would be with him.
Absolutely.
I said they're going to be bolder with you and I because we've seen it. I mean, let's pretend I haven't seen it over decades of doing this. Where, oh, Joe, we love you. You're the greatest. The whole thing. Then you get to Saturday. What's he doing?
Yeah.
They're like, okay, so it's like, oh, here we go. This will be great.
And coaches know this. Coaches know this. It's not as if you literally you don't think. Somebody hears just say, throw the ball, or anything like that. Absolutely.
Right.
Coaches know that. And
right.
it's not.
They know, but I'm just saying, in terms of the face-to-face.
Oh, they're not going to. Yeah, it's got to be a lot. Yeah.
They're not going to be.
Those computer muscles are
They're not going to be as bold,
absolutely.
right? Or to a surrogate.
Yeah.
Right? They're going to be bolder. Because,
sure.
I'm not attacking you.
Right.
I'm attacking him, but I'm telling you what I think.
Exactly.
Right? I say, okay, great.
Sure.
It's great to have you here today. I'm glad you showed up. That's, right? Be loud, be proud. So now, now we get to that silent area and about being bold. Okay? I've always said many times, many times, I do not in any way, shape, or form mind social media.
No.
Okay? I do not in any way, shape, or form mind message boards. I don't.
Yeah, especially message boards. I think that's.
I don't mind in any way, shape, or form Instagram.
Yeah, that's
don't.
more so social media.
Social media, X, whatever. And I don't mind message boards at all.
No.
Because I appreciate the people who post because they're passionate.
Yeah, they're also investing time into the game, investing time into their opinions, Yeah, absolutely.
Right. At the same time, it's, you're not attaching your name to it.
Correct. Social media are more so, but not message boards.
But on message boards, you're not attaching your name.
Right.
Right. And everything that I say, you may think I'm the biggest idiot in the face of the earth. You may think I'm the biggest homer on the face of the earth. You may think that I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. But my name is attached to everything I say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Whether you agree with it or not, I put my name behind it. Okay? Okay? Somebody that's on a message board, and again, I appreciate the passion. I appreciate it. But, okay? Somebody will say, have you heard what they're writing on the message boards? And I'll say, no, I don't. I don't pay attention to it. They said, why not? I said, nobody attaches their name to it.
Right.
I said, I learned that lesson 20-something years ago. All right? And I said, if you're not actually attaching your name where you're telling everybody who you are and what your opinion happens to be, explain to me why I'm supposed to listen to it. Okay? Because everything I do, again, you may think I'm an idiot. You may think I don't know what I'm talking about. You may think I'm an apologist. You may think I'm a homer. Whatever you want to think. Okay? By the way, none of that bothers me. Okay.
No,
okay. As I always say, I've got direct deposit. I don't really get concerned about it.
The longer you're around, the less you care about those opinions.
No, I'm saying though, but
it's not.
But people may
They're
have
entitled to them. But
people may have that opinion about my opinions. Okay, or may have an opinion about how I do my job. Whatever. Right? They may have the opinion about my opinions, but every single one of them, I attach my name to them, whether you like them or not, right? So that's why I sit here and say, well, geez, I put my name behind my opinions. Why don't you do me a favor and put your name behind your opinions? Now, for example, on the pregame show, somebody could use a different name, whatever, but, you'll get X from whatever. Chris from Plymouth Meeting is calling.
Yeah.
Bob from Johnstown. Now, they may be using a different name, whatever, but at least they're giving you a name and they're giving you a hometown and whatever. Because you don't want the full name. That's fine. That doesn't bother me. No. But if you're going to take the time and sit down at a keyboard, right, let everybody know who you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay? Let everybody, it's very easy to be bold when you're anonymous. It's very easy to be bold when you're anonymous. Okay? Okay? If you feel strongly about it, put your name behind it. So, see, that's what... Okay. Oh, good. What are we doing now? Okay, great. We're doing there's a documentary on Linebacker U.
Nice.
I'm being interviewed next week. And I guess Jack's going to do it next week as well. They got Shane. They were kind of working around Shane Conlon's schedule.
Nice.
But yeah, they were just texting me and told me Jack's going to do it. I mean, really linebacker here really began with Denny Onkotz.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Dave Robinson was more of a defensive end.
I agree.
He was a defensive end here in the NFL. He played linebacker, and but
more the size of a defensive end too.
Yeah, he was more of a defensive end.
Which at that time was a little more different than it is now.
Then Denny Onkotz came in, and then Jack Ham.
Mm-hmm.
After that, and they started passing the baton. I mean, a Kurt Allerman. You start going through all the John Scorpan and people like that have just come through, all the way up to what we've had recently. Micah Parsons and people like that. Tony Rojas would be the next in the lineage. I mean, it's one thing about. I want to address that for a second too. I believe it was intimated somewhere last week, and it may have been in the broadcast. I don't know. Maybe that Tony may be opting out of the season. I don't know if you heard that or not.
Mm-mm. I did not.
But I believe it was intimated that he was. Tony got hurt in Tuesday's practice a week ago. Tony's... Okay, it's a long-term injury. Tony Rojas, I've only talked to him once since it happened, is devastated. It's devastated. I mean, I've seen guys get hurt, they're down and out, right? I've seen that happen before.
Mm-hmm. Seen it multiple times with some people.
But rarely have I used the word devastated with a guy. And he was devastated. Now he'll bounce back. He's got the fortitude. I mean, he's a terrific player. But somebody actually intimated that he was opting out. Like, you can't do that. You can't say that.
No.
Right? You can't do things on rumor, innuendo, or guessing, especially on something that serious.
Absolutely.
And we've had people opt out before. Barry Alexander essentially opted out at USC last year, and then he ended up going to the portal, and now he plays for Oregon. Right? I'm not singling out Barry Alexander. I'm using him as an example. Okay? And how does stuff like that get out? How does that get started?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. And it's like, you gotta be kidding me. It's like, I actually had to deal with it on the talk show this week. Somebody called about it. I was like going, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I didn't hear it.
Well, I didn't hear about it till I heard about it Wednesday.
Yeah, I didn't
Wednesday
hear about
was
it
the first time I heard about it. Then I was called on my show yesterday about it. Like, like holy mackerel! All sorts of stuff out there.
Yeah, and you go back to the pandemic year. There were so many rumors. I can't tell you how many times I heard Pat Fryermuth wasn't going to play.
Wow. For goodness
yeah.
sake. You want to know how many times I heard that that Drew Aller was going to start instead of Sean Clifford in Drew's freshman year?
Mm-hmm.
Every single week. Like, well, you and I were doing the show together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember how painful it was. Just quick quiz. Who's Stay High playing tonight?
Stay High's playing CDs.
It's amazing in 24 hours how you bounce back.
Final home game for a little while. Could see one more, might not. We'll see.
Are you sure they're playing them tonight?
I'm sure they're playing the Panthers. You bet.
Carlisle
next week. Bishop McDevitt wraps up the season. Well, wraps up the regular season.
Yeah. You're sure, right?
I'm sure.
I mean, I'm not going tonight. I'm going to hockey.
Yep.
I'm going to have to take your word.
Yep, they're playing them.
Like, you know what? In fact, you know what? I've decided that I'm going to look it up just to make sure.
Okay.
Just to
Go
make
for
sure.
it.
Yeah. But how does stuff like that get started? I don't understand. Like,
I think we're it's
who thinks that way?
Yeah, and that's I don't know who thinks the way that some of these people think at all. And that's look.
Well, no, it's not a widespread thing.
No, I don't know.
I didn't hear about it till Wednesday.
I didn't hear about it till you just told me. But that's I think we're in an era and world of two things that are crushing media a little bit. Hot takes, which are ridiculous at times,
right,
and borderline just flat out awful opinions at times, which you're entitled to. That's fine. Right. But the other part of it is, to me, the race for so many people to be first and have no idea if it's accurate or not.
Yeah.
And that's where you screw up in a lot of ways.
Yeah. I know. So, do I appreciate the passion? Yes.
Sure, absolutely.
Completely. And I have no problem with opinions.
No.
Right?
No, and I'm okay with strong opinions.
My point is, if you're going to
back it,
if you're going to have an opinion, put your name behind
it. Sure, and back it.
Right?
Absolutely.
It's your opinion.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
That's has always been my issue with comment sections or with message boards or whatever.
Right.
It's always been like, okay, you're entitled to think whatever you think. I have no problem with that. Zero. Okay? Now, hopefully it's backed up with some facts,
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, you just can't throw something out there and go,
right.
Like the Tony Rojas opt-out thing. Now, that did not appear, to my knowledge, I was told it did not appear on a message board or anything like that. It did not.
Yeah.
Right?
I didn't see it at all.
Right. So that's wherever this came from. I think it was said on CBS. Right? Like, okay, not good.
No.
And
on that broadcast, you're looking at two of the very best.
Yeah.
That's the unfortunate part of it, too.
Yeah, I don't know. But, when I heard it Wednesday, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Really? And then it was brought up to me again yesterday. And I'm like, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not even close. But, all right.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, they've got tomorrow they have Northwestern at 3:30. And we're on beginning at 2 o'clock. And of course, you'll do your show. Yeah. When's your show?
Should be right after you guys. Right after you guys wrap up. Be on there.
Are you going to write down the name of the opponent? Hasn't been your strong suit.
Wildcats. Just when in doubt, say the Wildcats. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's tomorrow. It is so important to walk out of there and have a good feeling about it.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, I think
really
you have
important. Mariners and the Tigers play tonight. The Tigers it's going to be George Kirby for the Mariners, who's fine. He's a good pitcher. But Tarek Skubal is going to go for Detroit tonight. The game is in Seattle, where the atmosphere will be wild. Meanwhile, the Cubs, and the game's going to be on Fox tonight.
Yeah.
Right? It's not on FS1 tonight. It's on Fox. And then the Brewers and the Cubs will play tomorrow night in Milwaukee for the right to face the Dodgers. Big games tomorrow. Indiana, Oregon. That's the same time as Penn State, as is Oklahoma, Texas.
Yep.
As is Oklahoma, Texas. Both at 3:30 tomorrow. This Indiana game with Oregon, regardless of where Penn State stands right now, was always of great interest to me to start with, because I know what Oregon's capable of, and Indiana has done so many great things.
Yeah. Won a tough game on the road already, too.
One at Iowa.
Yeah, one at Iowa, yeah.
One at Iowa. Mendoza has been terrific.
Yeah.
And you're talking about a guy with 16 touchdown passes and only one interception so far. He said when he transferred from Cal to Indiana, he wanted to go to a program, he wanted to be challenged. Well, however they've challenged him, he's met it. And Surratt's really good, the wide receiver. They got Roman Hemby to transfer from Maryland to Indiana. And let's give Indiana credit. They're really, really good. And they're going to play at Autzen. So let's see, how they handle it. Alabama, Missouri tomorrow. Now, that's the noon game, so this is Bo Prabula.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Missouri's 5-0.
Undefeated, yeah.
Alabama's the team that's 4-1, but they've won 4 in a row. But
Simpson's playing really well. But both quarterbacks in that game.
Well, Simpson's,
really
you're talking about 13 touchdowns, only 1 pick for Simpson so far. Really, really good. Bo, on the other hand, 9 touchdowns, 3 picks, and has played really, really well.
Has.
I mean, let's give credit where credit is due. Bo's played really well for Missouri so far. And Missouri, to this point, wins over UMass. The South Carolina one was an important one. Louisiana, Kansas, and then, then they were able to get one more non-con win. And so a lot of this has been racked up against non-con along the way because they beat Central Arkansas. So they beat Central Arkansas, Kansas, Monroe, University of Louisiana, I think it's Lafayette. South Carolina, which is their signature win, 29-20 UMass. So the schedule's set up pretty well for them. And also coming up, let's see, Oklahoma, Texas tomorrow in the actual Cotton Bowl over at the Texas State Fair. And Mateer will be back tomorrow for Oklahoma, which is big. And Arch Manning leads. Here's the big issue for Texas. It's a big issue for them. You can talk about Arch Manning throwing the ball, whatever. But Arch Manning, with 160 yards, is also their leading rusher. I don't want that. I need a running back to be my leading rusher. I don't want my quarterback being my leading rusher. I know, Iamaleava is the leading rusher for UCLA. Right?
You don't, yeah.
Right, but I don't want my quarterback being my leading rusher.
No.
And with 160 yards in 5 games, he's averaging 30-something yards a game rushing.
Yeah.
He's the leading rusher.
Yeah. Well, that's two things. Number one, your running game's not getting going the way you want it to. But the second part of it, at some point, that quarterback's running. What's going to happen? He's going to get hit hard.
Look,
and he may not get up.
Right. Well, but James and I talked about Drew last night, getting involved in the running game early and how important that is. It is important. Because, he gets everybody engaged when he does it. Now, would I like to see him slide once in a while? Yeah.
Yes.
That would not hurt.
Absolutely.
Let's see. NC State, Notre Dame tomorrow. The ABC night game is Georgia-Auburn. Yeah. The Fox night game is Kansas-Texas Tech. Yeah. Okay. Florida-Texas A&M's on ESPN2. But then the NBC game, that one's in Los Angeles. That's Michigan-USC. And I think when I get home, I may put up the old feet tomorrow when I'm done, and that may be one I take in. South Carolina plays at LSU. Later games, BYU, Arizona at 8, and the deep into the night game is Arizona State at Utah, and they're both 4-1. Okay.
Yeah.
So there we are. There's the rundown for the weekend there in college football. What does college football mean to me? And, of course, Ohio State plays at Illinois. That's at noon, just like Alabama, Missouri is.
Yeah.
Tonight it's South Florida, North Texas. By the way, the two of them have combined to be 9-1. North Texas is 5-0.
Yep.
South Florida's only loss was to Miami.
Miami. Yep.
Right, they're 4-1. Not bad.
Miami in your typical Florida weather game. It was
It was
that day.
It was.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, South Florida. I mean, they already beat Florida. They beat Boise State. Okay. And they lost to Miami. And North Texas is, they come in, they're 5-0, right? South Alabama, Army's really struggled this year. Washington State, Western Michigan, and Monroe. Now, North Texas beat Monroe 51-0, and Northwestern beat Monroe 42-7. Right? So I watched Jack said, "Why'd you watch the Monroe game?" I said, "Well, I already watched the Oregon game, and I already watched the UCLA game because Penn State was going to play." Right? He goes, "Oh, yeah, that makes sense." I said, "I just wanted to watch the last game."
Yeah.
I said, "I already watched the other two games." All right. It's interesting. Northwestern, which is very good defensively, a lot of times will play what we call quarters. So the corner of the two safeties and the other corner divide the field up into 4. Then every once in a while they'll run Tampa 2, and this is what I brought up on the show last night with James about, because at some point you have to talk football, everybody. Okay, you got to let's talk football here for a little bit. Hey, doesn't hurt. We can talk semantics and and personnel and things like I'm talking about coaching personnel, all you want, but at some point you got to talk football. You're going to play the game, right? So we talked about Tampa 2 last night because they've got Mac Uline 37. I think Mac Uline is a terrific linebacker, really good. And they've had a long lineage of terrific linebackers from Pat Fitzgerald all the way up to Gallagher, up to, now up to Uline. They'll take the two safeties, and normally they take, when they do cover 2, half the field. Right? But when you do Tampa 2, they split middle linebacker, like Derek Brooks would do years ago with Tampa, goes up and takes that middle area. So essentially what you're playing is, they call it Tampa 2, but it becomes cover 3.
Right. Yeah.
Well, cover 3 is trying to invite you into doing what? They want you to throw deep.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the defense wants you to throw deep.
Sure.
Right? Because, it's got to be there.
But it's not.
It's not there.
Yeah.
So you have to be smart as to how, when they do it, because when Uline does it, he turns his back a bit and does a dead sprint back. You're watching the game tomorrow, you watch. When he turns and starts doing a dead sprint back, that's Tampa 2. All right? You watch how he does it. He tips it off as to how he does it. He doesn't backpedal to a spot. He turns and he runs back to a spot. Okay? And that's the tip. At least me watching it, I felt like it was the tip. And he got an interception against Oregon in it. He picked off more in it. Their running game is very, very good. Caleb Komalafe, good, tough, hard-nosed runner. Got some jump to him. Hyman, probably the better receiver of the two, but they play him and get him involved in the game. They utilize 3 tight ends. Not always. Right? They'll go 3 wides once in a while. Wilde, the transfer from South Dakota State, knows the offensive coordinator system. They came over together from South Dakota State. But Wilde 17 is very, very good. Elegon caught a touchdown pass on the other side, number 80. Good player. Right? Drew Wagner, not bad. He's also the punt returner. Those are the primary guys that they use. But yeah. Look, you got to go out and play. You got to win the game.
Absolutely.
Right? And look, here's one last thing. You worked hard all week.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard the criticism all week. Have fun.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, if you stop having fun, it's over.
Okay?
And that's it. Absolutely.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Enjoy the game. Have fun. Don't feel like every single play I've got to do something, because you can't play that way.
Yeah.
You can't hit the 5-run homer.
Right.
Okay? Just play. It's all right.
Yeah.
Okay? Enjoy it. And hopefully your fans can enjoy it as well. Right? It's homecoming. You know.
Be a great crowd. There's no question about that.
Yeah. Parade's tonight.
A lot of people already in town.
The parade is tonight. You were the Grand Marshal of the State High homecoming parade, I believe, right? Did I get that wrong?
Yep, never Grand Marshal of parade. That's not an accomplishment just yet.
What? Not good enough for you?
But they
It's like too. I mean, is it like is it small potatoes to you? Or
No.
I'm trying to figure out what your mindset is.
I would
What's your mindset?
Do it in a heartbeat.
Oh, if they asked you, you'd go? Really?
Sure.
Really?
Sure.
How about that? Golly gee willikers. Now, kind of wondering, it's like you're getting to be a little bit too big for people. No?
No.
You sure?
No.
Oh, you're not sure?
No, well,
Haven't you learned by now?
That's right.
That I can turn 105th homecoming game. 105. So season 139, the 105th homecoming game. So there you are. All right. If you're going to hockey tonight, I'll see you there.
I'll be at State High tonight.
I was talking to the audience, Jason.
I figured as much.
Right? Because now that you finally figured out who State High's playing,
That's
you
right.
might as well show
That's
up.
right. Taking on the Panthers.
This is great. Who are we playing? I did. You know what? I did that once. I did it at the Rose Bowl. First Rose Bowl Jack and I did was 2008, 2009 Rose Bowl, USC. I walked into the booth, and Jack was the only person in the booth at the time. And I walked in. I said, "This is really great." I said, "Who are we playing?" Look, you got to have some fun.
Yeah, you have to, absolutely.
Right? I am big into having fun.
There's no doubt.
Right?
No doubt.
Let's have some laughs. Everything is so sorry. Just calm down, okay?
I agree.
That's it. Just calm down. All right, have some fun.
I agree.
All right? Now, it'd be a lot more fun than win tomorrow. Okay, let's go that route.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.